Hello, you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Sale from Ways Prime Time. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you, it's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?
It's a beautiful and lovely Friday morning. Thank God it's Friday. Welcome to the show and welcome to West Breakfast. Hashtag what are you saying? That early morning breakfast show that comes your way every Monday through to Friday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And as you know it, on Fridays like this, we discuss tech and innovation related issues. But today's episode will be a little different. Happy International Girl Child Day to all females out there. And do not forget, you can be exactly who you wish and always dream to be. And of course, I'm rooting for you all. My name is Omotoshola Sharimaki. And of course, I'm here with my ladies. Hello, ladies, dressed in white and pink.
Hello, good morning.
I
Happy
am
International
proud
Day
to
of the
be
Girl
again.
Child.
It feels really good. I mean, it
Yeah.
feels really, really. And I love the fact that a lot of celebration happened this week, this month, ready from Breast Cancer Awareness Month,
To
Customer
mental health.
Service Week. Oh, yesterday was World Mental Health Day. Yesterday was also World Sight Day for people that wear glasses like us. I
Okay,
mean,
for the
so I
4i
love the fact
gang.
that people are appreciated while they are still alive.
Yes.
Customer service, people were appreciated. If you go to banks, there was different activities for each day. It felt really good. Breast cancer, wearing pink, educating people. This week alone, I've heard lectures from two different medical practitioners on breast cancer. I learned that breast cancer can happen to both females and
And
male. I
males.
mean, so many things that we've learned. I mean, I just love the fact that this week was full of
lot of
learning
activities.
and
Yes.
activities. How do you ladies feel? International Day for the Girl Child. And we are ladies.
Happy to be a girl.
Today I want to be called a girl. Don't call me lady. Lady is too mature. I'm
Girl.
a girl. I'm in my
I'm a
girly
girl.
era.
In my girl era, I'm so excited. I'm so excited because today, as the founder of the Okiki Foundation,
Please.
we are going to be celebrating this wonderful, wonderful, how would I put, I don't want to say creature. I want to say, how do I don't know which word to use.
Use
But
any
then
word coming to you.
everything beautiful. That's what girls are. And then being able to celebrate it today, especially, taking it to the streets and into the world.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I'm so happy. I think my excitement is never allowing me to say what I want to say. I have so many things running through my
through your
mind.
head.
Excitement
Yes.
won't finish you, like they say on
Oh,
the street.
You know why I
My
like
chair.
this particular celebration is that it is very specific to a particular age range. You know, we have celebrations like Women's Day,
Yeah.
Mother's Day, and it's the elderly people that have been celebrated. But the girl child, using the phrase already, the girl child, makes it look like, okay, we are now concerned about people that are way younger in secondary schools, girls that are trying to figure out their life. And this year's theme is about vision for the future.
yes.
So it's all shades of beautiful, as you mentioned, and we hope that we're going to have a great day after our program today. So
Yes. And of course, we've got a package. Okay, I said of course 2 times, 3 times. I'm sorry. We've got a package show for you today as we're going to be talking about the girl child. And our guest is a girl child, a secondary school student. We're following the team. We want to hear from them because our world is different from their own world. Their realities are different. Our own reality, when we're in secondary school, is different from the current reality they are facing. But before then, please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV and also follow us on all our social media platforms because today we have different packets from you right in the studio, on the field, later at night on our primetime show. If you don't want to miss any of it, just subscribe now and follow all our different social media platforms. Today, like I said, we're talking about International Day of the Girl Child, but let's go on this break. Right after the break, we'll talk about our headlines across the globe. Please be on standby. You're welcome back to Voice Breakfast. It's time to take a look at the top headlines making rounds across the world this morning. And this morning we have the Nigerian Tribune, we have the Guardian newspaper, we also have the Punch newspaper. I will be starting with the Nigerian Tribune, where the major headline says NLC kicks as NNPC sells petrol for 998 naira in Lagos, 1,025 naira in Ibadan, and 1,030 naira in Abuja. Under it, it says, brace up for further inflation, higher cost of goods, services, Worthgate advisory boss. New pump price quality, take that again, new pump price gradually reflecting the regulated market, says operators. At the top corner of the Nigerian Tribune, PDP, new push to out Damgon as national chairman. Right beside the local government autonomy, don't circumvent Supreme Court judgment. Senate cautions state and local government. Moving straight to the middle page of the Nigerian Tribune, federal government to gazette zero VAT on pharmaceutical products. Alleged misconduct, Army removes brigade commander begins probe. And the last headline reads, federal government will flush out bandit terrorists from Northwest, says Matawali. And the headline that piqued my interest is on the zero VAT of pharmaceutical products. This is coming as federal government has plans to reduce or even take away VAT completely, which is value-added tax of pharmaceutical products. This is coming at the right time. But are we going to see the difference in the prices of pharmaceutical products? I mean, drugs that we buy, meds. Let me not say drugs, because in the US, when you say drug, they think of something else. Let me say meds. And with this zero VAT removal be obvious, or are we going to see it on our meds?
Have you purchased any drug recently and then you checked your receipt and you saw? Because I know some receipts
No,
contain.
The VAT is when they buy stuff like custom duty.
Okay, not like direct.
Not like
Oh,
directly.
okay,
No,
not
that's
any
fine.
not
private
direct.
company.
So like the custom. I saw a video yesterday where a guy said he used to clear goods for 20 million before, but now he cleared it for like 140 million. And he said, as a businessman that he is, he's
You
obviously
have
going
to,
to
yes.
add it on all his goods, which means if they
20
reduce
to
VAT,
140 is a very
it's a very,
big margin.
I mean,
But if we look at it, as they said that even the price of petrol has increased over 400%.
Yes.
Since the last administration. So obviously, almost everything is definitely going to go that high. If we look at drugs that we used to buy at 8,200, 5,000, went straight, shot up to like 40,
10,000.
50, 70,000 naira. It was that bad. So I don't know. I think some women who had diabetes at one time, where we were trying to get their drugs. The second time we went to the market to go and purchase drugs for them.
It was very expensive. And drugs that deal with all
Wasn't
these
funny.
particular issues like hypertension, diabetes, they're
even
usually
basic
so
asthma, because most of the companies
expensive.
left Nigeria before things got this bad. Please, let's take a
Interesting.
look at the Guardian newspaper.
Yes, taking you through the Guardian newspaper. The headline reads, War Against Corruption. where anti-graft eagle turns a blind eye to sacred cows. Below that, we have my husband not greedy, working for a better future, says Remi Tinubu. We have another story that reads, Atiku, CUPP, TUC, others knock Tinubu over handling of fuel subsidy. And Shetima Kalu Abiodun decry rising population of uneducated kids and urges action. We also have another story that reads, Don't Dare Military, Defense HQ warns Asari Dokubo. And the last story here says, Reps kicked against multiple tax burdens on Nigerians. I think that this whole story, everything sort of blends into themselves, they still relate to. But particularly is the idea that would I say Her Excellency Remi Tinubu comes to defend her husband.
For the second or the third time.
You know?
My husband is rich.
He's rich, so we
He's
don't
not
need the
spending
money.
Nigerian
He's
money.
greedy, so we don't need the money. I feel like that's not the perspective that she's supposed to be driving. Looking at, well, a lot of people will say that, yes, part of the reason they voted him is because they say he don't chop belefu, so there's no need for him to steal Nigeria's money. We also look at the fact that a lot of people also said that he has seen many developments, so it's easy for him to do it. So I feel like she should be coming from the perspective of what he wants to do or what he's doing, the real thing that he's doing, what he's going through, whether he's going through something or not. I think that is the perspective she's supposed to be talking about, not that she's now going to take the general narrative and now elaborate on it and say my husband is not greedy and stuff.
Let's go down few months ago when we elected these people into power, when they were sworn, inaugurated as president and vice president. She told us that, oh, my husband is not after Nigerians' money. He has his own money. Not too long after, the presidential villa was, what's the word now?
Renovated.
Renovated, thank you. After the presidential villa was renovated, recall that when Muhammad Buhari was passing out, he renovated this same villa and he spent billions of naira on it. After renovating President Tinubu's villa, they also renovated the vice president's villa. They built new hospital. They also renovated the ladies' wing, the first ladies' wing. Please, where's the money coming from? Not too long after, our own president got a new yacht. Not too long after, he got a private jet. Oh, me as the president, I cannot be flying commercial. We understand you are the president of the African giant. I mean, the giant of Africa. Very normal. Not too long after, our president got a car. I'm trying to remember the name. The VAT on this car alone. The VAT on the car alone, not talk of the price of the car.
So I can agree that there are allocations for all these things. As I said, the only difference between the Tinubu administration and every other administration that has come into power is the fact that there's now more transparency. I won't say transparency. I would say that there's now more exposure to young Nigerians about the allocations that go into the different things. Before all these things
was spending all this money, but maybe not the same time, and maybe not when.
No, not
you
that.
removed our subsidy for a reason.
No.
Now we are suffering.
He was spending back to back. He was actually
back to
spending back to back.
Traveling.
Every other administration.
Vacation.
No, every other administration spent money back to back. The only problem was that we never took cognizance of those amounts. If you go and check budgetary in 2019, 2015 and all of that, you start seeing that the problem now is that the value of money that we have now is now lesser than the value of money that we had then. So if somebody spent 160 million before and somebody is spending maybe 300 million now, it's almost the same value, because as at them, what you buy for that amount is almost the same thing that you buy for this amount now. So I feel like we're now more enlightened, and that's why we're very concerned about the allocations of the Senate House and every other political leader that we have there. So please let her talk.
All right, thank you for the enlightenment. Today is Girl Chat. I don't want to really buzz my head with everything happening in the country. The major headline reads, petrol price hike. Ipman tackles NNPCL, threatens to stop operations. Marketers accuse NNPCL of inflating Dangote petrol price. Minman continues loading subsidized PMS. Sanwo-Olu inspects ongoing 7-story new Mercy Children Hospital. And data voice services fetch MTN and Airtel 3.6 trillion naira. Lebanese jailed 14 years for sexually exploiting 2 teenage girls. Why military hasn't gone after Asari Dokubo, says DHQ. Above that, it says Oyedepo's two deputies step down next week. Fulbara heads to the Supreme Court as the appeal court affirms pro-Wike lawmakers. 7 banks pay 392 billion naira tax. NULGE threatens suit over governor's bill to control local government funds. I know we're going to still talk about this for the girl child, how, the problems that the girl child has to go through. And I've just seen something that relates to that on the Punch newspaper, and that's the one that the Lebanese that was jailed for 14 years for sexually exploiting 2 teenage girls. And we can all agree that sexual exploitation is just on the rampant when it comes to the female child. It's something that we always have to deal with. Statistics will tell you 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10. It just keeps happening over and over again. And I'm sure as we begin to dissect the topic and just talk about the challenges that the girl child face, we'll examine this properly. But thank God, justice has been done. He's been jailed for 14 years, even though I feel like sometimes these people should not be given the time frame of 14 years.
Yeah, you will not
After
want to
14
hear my
years,
judgment.
this teenage girl you will come out and these teenage girls will be adults and they'll still be seeing you and remember the scar that you gave them. They should just be taken somewhere and never to return, honestly, because it's not a nice thing.
Yeah.
All right, that's all.
All right, thank you. And that's it on the headlines across the globe. We're taking this quick break to return with the main conversation for today, International Day of the Girl Child. Please stay with us. You welcome back to the show. Welcome to this special edition of our breakfast show. Yes, we know on Fridays we talk tech, we talk innovation, we talk AI, we talk everything happening in that tech space. But today we are shining a spotlight on a vital topic that affects millions across the world, the empowerment of the girl child. As we celebrate International Day of Girl Child today, we recognize the incredible potentials of girls everywhere and the importance of advocating for their rights and opportunities. International Day of the Girl Child is observed on October 11 every year. And in 2024, the team is expected to focus on empowering girls, promoting their rights and addressing challenges they face globally. The day aims to highlight issues such as access to education, gender-based violence, and the importance of health and well-being. The theme for this year is Girls' Vision for the Future. Today, we will be discussing the practical steps we can take to support girls in our communities. And we're going to highlight initiatives that are paving way for a better future. To join us later in the show, is a secondary school student from Roseland Comprehensive High School, and we are going to be talking about the show. Stick with us till the end. We'll bring an eye in a moment. So, ladies, International Day for the Girl Child. It means girls, the young adults, or should I say the teenagers. I'd like us to start from the NDLEA. Was it NDLEA? They came out yesterday to talk about if you want to travel out as a married woman, you have to take permission from your husband, and he has to write letter. Although they took their word back, they debunked it. They didn't debunk it. They came out later yesterday evening to say, "Oh, we're so sorry, we've removed it." Let's start from that. Fine, it's not a girl child issue, but it's a female issue. Why do our top people feel the need that if a married woman wants to travel out, she has to take a letter from her husband. Dear husband, please write letter, address it to the traveling agency. In their defense, though, some visa requirements, some visa country requirements now need them to write letters from their husband. But I do not understand where any country in the world feels like before a lady can travel out, she needs permission from her husband. While for the husband, they can travel out there as free as a bird.
It's the same culture that will also tell you, or will not. It's the same culture where a lady wants to get an apartment and the landlord is saying that if you are not married, you cannot be in this place. So it's a cultural stereotype that I'm hoping that eventually it will just come to an end. And it's a gradual thing, and we've gotten better. That's the truth. If we look back 15, 10 years, it used to be so worse. But the question still comes up. I mean, why is it that they always make women, the female gender, feel like they're incomplete? Is that incompleteness is what has really dragged a lot of things. That's why we're having conversations like this. I was discussing with one of my friends yesterday, and she was mentioning that there are some people, they can't get to some top places if they do not have a man by their side.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this same woman that is breaking the grounds, breaking different barriers, doing exceptional things, what makes you think she's not complete to do this? And, you know, we're talking girl child, so I want us to, like, bring the conversation to a very low level. Yeah. These girls are seeing what's happening. They're seeing how their mothers are being treated. They are seeing how their elder sisters are being treated. And it now forms something in their consciousness that I'm probably not as complete as I think I should be. Yes. I should probably not touch very daring areas. I should just be careful in how I thread. I should just do simple things.
Aiming to be a housewife, cook and clean.
Just get married to a rich man. Those people now say, my full-time job is being an Odogu's wife. They are just different narratives that have been painted, and those narratives are being passed down. So yes, we have a duty to ensure that the girl child, that is the younger version, will be able to challenge these narratives that has been for a very long time and come out and shine as ladies and women that we are. And thank God for initiatives that are always very, very specific, tailored towards these needs. And eventually we'll see it happen.
Okiki, you're an advocate for the girl child.
Yes.
In fact, your own
a non-governmental organization.
Thank you. Something else skipped my head. You own a non-governmental organization that's focused on the girl child. I was looking at your page yesterday. You've gone to different places. You've been to Kirikiri prison. You've distributed pads for girls.
Yeah.
And the vision for the team for this year is vision for the future. Is there a bright future you're looking at that we cannot see? That we want to enlighten our audience to see that the girl child is also a complete child. In an African home, giving birth to a girl means you've not given birth at all. Until you give birth to a boy, then you're seen as a mother. If your first child is a girl, maybe you have like girls. I grew up among girls. I grew up in a home, in an environment where I was seen as we're not complete. We need a man. That's why we have plenty in my house till today. We're always trying every year. We had like plenty girls. We're looking for just one boy.
You eventually get.
We got the boy. Right after I said, let's try again, we'll add the girl again.
Oh, interesting.
So why is that we are painted as incomplete? Going to a girls-only school, because if you go to a mixed school, you might be assaulted. The boys might want to touch you in a way you don't want. Why are we prone to all of these things? Are we not human beings? Let's hear from you.
I always say that women in general are endangered species, and so therefore we should always be cautious of ourselves. Yeah. So I always focus on the disadvantaged communities of Lagos, because that's where you find cases of rape. That's where you find cases of out-of-school children. You find cases of theft and, so many drug abuse and all of that. So this whole journey started as a way of my own battle into the real world also, where they keep saying that, oh, why do you want to do this? Don't you think this is too high for you? Don't you think you're doing too much? How would you find a man? How would you do this? How would you do that? So it was for me it was, I want to prove them wrong. Not just prove them wrong. I want to prove myself right, that I'm doing this thing and I'm so sure that I'm going to succeed at it. So that's what brought the whole idea of reaching out to girls, training girls on self-esteem, hygiene. There's so many things that self-awareness can also do. And it's the fact that you are so sure that you can become whatever it is that you want to become in life. And a lot of people lack that. because of home training, because of societal issues, sometimes environment can sort of bring you down from having a big dream. When people tell me that, oh, you should have immediate goals,
Yes.
sometimes all these girls need are the biggest dream that they can ever think of, because that's the only motivation that they can have to move. You know, when you say, oh, let me take it one step at a time, it's easy for you because of maybe your upbringing or the level that you are. But for somebody that all she ever knows is where they rape, go into prostitution, from there to drug abuse, she needs a wild dream to be able to say, you see this dream, every other person thinks it's impossible, but
gonna
I will
achieve it.
do it. Do you
Now, let's start
understand?
from the school, which is their first place of contact. How do we inculcate good moral manners in the teachers to be able to pass on to this girl child especially, and then to stop this inequality thing? You are a girl, you are a boy, you are the same. You are a child, you are a child. You are not less child or half a child. How do we start to speak to the first contact of every child? Maybe the school, maybe the children church session in churches, the ilekeu in mosque, and all those places they go to. Then our neighbors around, please, she's a girl, don't talk to her anyhow. Don't make her feel like she's less of it. How do we inculcate all of these manners before we begin to prepare to bring in our
So
guests?
let me differ a bit that I'm not sure we necessarily need equality. I think what we need is equity. The fact that,
that.
women and boys experience different things at different phases of their life. What we should now start to do is treat girls as girls and make sure that they are well taken care of. Somebody texted me, I was like, girls, 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 why not boys? I said, ask yourself, why not boys? Because there are so many issues that are surrounding girls, and that is why we have to talk about it. Saying that we do International Women's Day, Girls' Day, Mother's Day, and all of that stuff, that's because there's been so much lack that it's important that this thing be spoken about so that they can be corrected. So I think equity should be in school, where if a girl gets stained by her, maybe her pad, or she's experiencing period for the first time, there should not be this huge laughter or maybe a teacher saying
Exactly.
that, don't you know that you're supposed to
Take
be
care of
coming?
yourself.
It's that thing where the girl is treated like a girl and taken care of, taken out of that class and trained and, you know, spoken to about how she should be aware of herself. Everybody is experiencing something differently. All of us now, sometimes we wake up in the morning and all of a sudden
Hormonal imbalance,
our face is swollen
mood
with
swing.
something and all of that. So how do we tell little girls how to manage through all these emotions when even we as adult women,
We're still striving.
we're still striving and trying to see how we can manage ourselves.
Let
So
me
I think
hear
what
from
we
Oluchi.
yes,
Just
please.
Wow.
you are a counselor and you're a psychologist.
Okay.
You've taught in secondary school
Okay.
before.
Yes, I
and
have.
you've dealt with girls.
Yes, and
What
I'll
did
talk
you do
about
differently?
I'll talk about the different kinds of teachers that we have. So yes, in the university there are people that are being trained to be educators, and there are younger people like us. And when they are being pushed into these school settings, because of the exposure that we have, there's a way that we can relate to these girls that is different from older teachers, older Yoruba teachers, CRS teachers, social studies teachers that some secondary school students will call mommy. So I know that there's that disparity in age, but I also think that maybe some sort of enlightenment should be done to these people in how they address female children. Because I've been in school settings where, I don't know, maybe it's a careless utterance that they always put out. Like, don't you know you're a girl? Girl cannot carry this. Do you understand? A girl can't
And it's
do
always
that.
for the bad stuff.
Exactly. In fact, sometimes some of them don't want to give a girl class prefect in class because they feel, you cannot handle all of these people. A boy would rather do that. I like the concept of head girl, head boy. But sometimes I'm like, just do head prefect. A girl or a boy can get in.
Yes.
A girl can rule the whole school, everybody. She doesn't have to just be representing girls. She can represent the girl and the boy. So I think, you know, in the school setting, it cuts across. Both the teachers who are like the direct contact with the student, how you communicate with the boy and the girl. And guess what? Girls are actually making waves. There's something that gave me one very interesting statistic that says that if you check your primary school and secondary school, many times the people that are always topping the class are who?
And the girls.
Many times, like if you do the statistics, it's a whole lot. So girls have capacity. Now, it's not to downgrade boys, and of course they have their own issues, and I'm sure there are different organizations that, you know, solve those kind of things. But because, like you said, we are a disadvantaged class in that sense. There are lots of things that are not in our favor in that sense. So we have to be the ones to fight for it. So in this school, teachers should know their utterances. Utterances. You know, psychologists will tell you that the first 5 years of a
Yes,
child
of the child's
determines a
life.
whole lot. So what you are saying to that child, indirectly or directly, it is storing up in their unconscious mind. Psychologists say that the unconscious is 70% of your head. It's just conscious that is 30%. So that means there are some things that are buried. They will not resurface until they probably get into the higher institution or they are married.
Or you just act something out and then
Exactly.
you
You
now
not be
realize that
wondering
it's
where
from
is this
something
coming
that
from.
somebody
It's from
said to
words
me.
that have been said to the girl child whilst they were in primary school, in nursery, whilst they were at home. So I think that, you know, in the school setting, counselors, anybody that has that privilege to train and lead these children, they should be treated with equity, like you said.
Let me quickly chip this in before we go on this break. This is why when females are put in position of authority, they tend to overdo. Why? They want to prove a point. Everybody's looking up to them, like, okay, you are a female, you must do well. So they are extra strict,
Patriarchy.
they are extra firm. They want to meet that goal times 2. It's because of the society, the pressure put on them. Okay, as a female, you don't even deserve this in the first place. So the fact that we are putting you there is not by anything. It's because we just pity you.
One mistake and
by
you're out.
mistake, and you have to prove us that you really what's been there. But let's hear from a girl child, a proper girl child. We open our phone lines when we return as well. I'll be coming back with a secondary school student. Please stay with us. We'll be back shortly.
What are the things that would make Nigeria an easy place to do business in?
I think the first place for me where I would start is actually brand Nigeria. There's something you said about made in Nigeria products. I remember many years ago when the sort of Buy Nigerian movement started, right? It didn't happen overnight, but there was a conscientious effort, right, to get people to think Buy Nigeria. But I don't think it transcended beyond maybe the fashion industry, that sort of, it was only in certain sectors where Buy Nigerian actually, was able to take root. But today, you don't have confidence that you want to go and buy a Nigeria-made car. I remember at one point when the ride-hailing companies, I don't know which one of them, there was a whole flood of those innocent, small
cars. Yes.
You don't see any of them on the road anymore. So somebody asked the question around durability. We all know what our roads are like. We all know what drivers on the roads are like. And people ask themselves, what is the longevity of these vehicles, right? You see really, really old, foreign brands still on the road, still moving. But these particular sets of cars, at one point, you couldn't turn to your left, to your right without seeing them. They were white, so you couldn't miss them. Today, I can't remember the last time I saw one of those cars on the road. And these things stick in people's minds, right, when people see these things. So the concept for me of what is the Nigerian brand, because that alone is powerful enough in the mind of the consumer to start to say, I'm seeking out Nigerian brand.
You're welcome back to the show. It's still the International Day for the Girl Child. As I mentioned earlier, we are going to be joined this morning by a secondary school student from Roseland Comprehensive College. She goes by the name Abibat Taiwo Jalupo. Good morning to you. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning to you too. Good morning to everybody.
Thank
Good morning
you.
to the people watching.
Hi.
Good morning.
So, I first like to ask, how do you feel being a girl child? How has the experience been so far? Have you ever suffered oppression, or has anyone ever talked down on you or bullied you because you are a girl child?
No, I wouldn't say people have bullied me. People have not bullied me at all. So we girl child, we are very intelligent. They can't look down to us like we always have a response. You can't just think
I like that.
you can't bully us and get away with it. So yes,
That's a
we are very
confident girl child.
intelligent. There are many things I can say, but just leave it there for now.
I like
Okay.
that. So tell us a little bit about you. Where did you grow up? What do you want to become in the future? Where do you see yourself? You see people every day. We see Ibuku and Wishika. We see all these top women, even in TVs, in radios. Who of them or which of them do you look forward to be like? Or who do you want to turn out to be?
My dad.
I love it.
Yes.
Tell us why.
Oh, like before you mentioned who am I looking up to, you mentioned what do I want to be. So I want to be a lawyer and a businesswoman. Because I want to put an end to crime. And a businesswoman because I have passion in making money.
Who does
Passion for
it?
making money. I love that.
Who does it?
And
Okay.
my dad is my role model because his strategy in making money and him in judging cases are very beautiful. He judges it according to the way he sees it, and he makes it comfortable for the two people that he's judging or anything. So I look up to my dad. He's my role model.
I love it. So sweet.
Well, let me also ask, what do you like most about being a girl? Like, a lot of times, there's so many social vices that go against girls that you sort of start to feel down on yourself. But we have to highlight the good things about being a girl. So what do you like most about being a girl?
Firstly, we are the best dressed. We are intelligent. We are mothers. We are nation builders.
It's beautiful.
In fact, we are the pride of Africans.
Oh, gosh.
So I just like, we are everything. We are one in a million. So they
Okay.
can't just look down to us. Or I would say youths of nowadays are making it, would I say, look in another way. Like girls are, because of the situation now, girls are turning into other things, which are making it look like it's affecting all the girls. They don't know that it's like 10% in 100. So that's all.
That's a very smart thing for you to say, because you're firstly seeing your strength and seeing the things that girls are capable of, and then you have highlighted some of the failures that that are now a stereotype to classify all girls, and you are mentioning that this is not everybody. There are still people that are making waves, and that's very nice. So you're a girl just like us. I said today I'm going to reckon as a girl.
We are
Nobody
girls.
should give me adult tag right now. I am a
Girls,
girl
girls,
child.
girls.
So I'm going back to my own secondary school. When I was in secondary school, you mentioned that you've never been bullied or oppressed. That's not my own story. In secondary school, I didn't have the best of the experience because I had people who did not speak so well to me. But you know how I excelled in secondary school? I'm sorry, I'm not going to tell a bit of story. I excelled academically. So yes, they would bully me in class, mostly because of how I looked. I was very lanky. You think I was not eating. So those people would say, Precious, when you were in heaven, you did, when God was creating us, you went to go and do something else. All those things will make me cry. I've mentioned it on the show several times. So I was bullied. But when it comes to assignment, test, debate, I was in press club. I'll just do well. I had long hair. So all those ones would cover up. But the fact that I was still being bullied was a very terrible thing. Sometimes there was verbal sexual abuse. You know what's verbal sexual abuse?
Yes,
where
yes.
a guy will make you, they're not doing anything to you, but they're saying some really obscene things. And growing up in a conservative background, I'm like, what's this rubbish you're saying to me? A lot of things. And I couldn't do anything about it. But today, if I look back in hindsight, I wish I was able to speak out. I wish I was able to be more assertive. And that's one thing that, it means to be assertive, like you are saying what you don't want. Do you understand? So I want to talk to you now, Habiba. If you were to change something in your community, in your school, in the world at large, what would it be? Because I know that, yes, we are powerful, we are intelligent, and we are good and all of that. But we should also be the advocates for change ourselves. Today we are celebrating the girl child. Who best celebrates it than ourselves? So if you were to change something in your society, in your school, what would it be?
So I'll start with my school. I'll first change the teachers.
Okay.
Because, I think schools are in a haste to employ teachers because of the students. Like, they just employ different teachers, whether the qualification is good or not. They will employ the teacher just for teaching's sake. And like, other students has different ways of learning. The same way teachers has the same
Different
teaching.
ways of
Yes.
teaching.
Yeah.
So in a semester, they can change like 4 teachers, which is bad.
So it's
Because
not good for your
there are
learning.
some people that don't read, but
Okay.
what the teachers is explaining,
To them.
yes,
can
that's
get
what
it.
they used to write their exam. There are people that read, but they don't listen to explanation. So it's true by changing 3 teachers a term is very bad for the students.
Learning
System.
process.
That's
Very-
very
that's- That's good.
yeah.
That's intelligent.
So apart from your school, amongst your friends, or what do you think you can also change?
The community, I think corruption.
How does it affect the girl child directly? I want you to be more practical. Like,
Yes,
talk
yes.
about things that affect you very directly. Corruption is a national thing. Man and woman, they are going through that. The one that affects you in school, what are the things that people have done or said to you that makes you think, oh, it's because I'm a girl, they are saying this to me, and you wish you could have changed it? You can tell a story to further buttress your point.
It has not really happened directly to me.
Okay, what of your friends, anyone around you?
I don't actually have an idea. But
Wow, that's good.
yes.
Okay.
So you're in a protected environment. That's I think that's one thing that you should also highlight,
Yes.
that the community should protect, the girl child enough for them to
Yes.
feel safe and meet other people who they can also be safe around. I mean, I think that's a very key thing.
Yeah.
A lot of, just like the way you said that you were bullied, if there were cases where you knew that you could talk to this,
Or report to
people,
teachers.
or report to teachers or other female students that will understand and defend
The
you.
same female students were also laughing. There was one time, sorry, I'm a storyteller. I like to tell stories. There was one time in school that they were doing this truth and dare stuff. They told a girl, I remember her name, I almost want to call it out, but in good spirit, I would not. They told her, go and pull off Precious's dress.
And she did.
And she was the one who did. A guy didn't do that to me. I'm like, women fighting for women, what's all this?
I'm going to take my next question from there, but I'd like to open our phone lines. Please call us and let us know. Let us hear your view about the International Day of the Girl Child Vision for the Future. Our phone lines are open now, 0702 500 7749. You can also call us on 0701 422420. Now, Abibat, let's hear from you. What class are you? I forgot to ask.
SS2.
It means you've journeyed through GS1, GS2, GS3, up until SS2, and you've been in class with different people. Some of your classmates have left the school, some of your classmates are still with you, and all of that. I want to ask, on a personal level, has there been any situation, we say girls supporting girls, women supporting women.
Yes.
Has there been any situation you faced that your fellow girl, your fellow student did something wrong to you based off of what she just described?
Yeah, I'll say something like secondary school backstabbing now. Like,
It's not normal. We're
Right.
making it feel like it's normal. Secondary school backstabbing, talk about it.
so it's a situation whereby you tell something like
Personal.
yes to a person that you think the person is going to keep it, and then at the end of the day, you are hearing it in the whole school, not even in your class.
Wow.
You are hearing it in the whole school that everybody is saying it, and she still comes to you and tell you to your face that I swear I didn't say this.
Knowing fully
But-
well that you told only
Yes,
her.
and everybody is saying it's you. You don't have a say about it, and you're still saying, yes, I didn't say it. I swear to God. And she's like swearing on her mother's life and her father's life that she didn't say it. So that's the only situation. So, yes.
To add to that, do you feel like we females are supporting ourselves from the secondary school level?
No.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Are your friends
I'm
watching this?
dumbfounded.
Are your female besties watching this? That's very
Okay,
interesting.
anyways, I think you have highlighted so many things that we also didn't know about, especially this school backstabbing thing. Me, nobody backstabbed me. If you think that you can do me something, I will do my own back. I've always been a wild card from secondary school. I remember my mom used to say that my teacher then, when I was in primary 2, used to give me like 1 to 10. Then I'll tell her, excuse me, ma, this thing is too much. Oh. Can you help me, reduce the numbers? And she said it was so funny that maybe my teacher writes 1 to 5, then another 1 to 5, and I'm going to finish before any other boy in class. Because I think when I got in, I was like the only girl before other girls joined. So I'm going to finish before every other boy in class. And it was like this girl was always this girl for this girl's sake. So I never knew about anybody backstab. You cannot shame the shameless. I always say that. So if you tell something about me that I told you in confidence, it might hurt me that I told you and you told other people, but get ready to spill.
That's why you're a politician.
I'm going to spill. I'm going to spill yours too. Well, that's the way it is.
I wanted to ask something. So let's talk about academics now, having to, because the reason why you're in school is to what? I mean, make ends, like to understand, to learn, to gain knowledge and all of that. So there's also competition in school, right?
Yes.
I don't know. In my secondary school then, first position was a war. SS1, 2, 3. It was a war. There was one time that I came back from school, my test result was not so good. And I knelt down in the kitchen. I was praying to God, God, please, just help me this time to get this first position. It was, I think secondary school competition is different from university now. Because in university, nobody even cares, actually. It's just, if they've known the BGS from year one, they just leave it for you. Let's just be doing our stuff and go. But in secondary school, it is tough. So I want to ask you, how has competition been for you in secondary school? Do you feel like it is tougher with a boy or with a girl? I want you to give me some.
Then who are those leading? What gender is leading?
Girls, of course.
Really?
I told you the statistics.
The boys are no match, so the competition is with a girl.
So it's with a girl?
Yes, because boys are like top 20.
So are you saying from 1 to 20, you're going to find a girl there? And then
More
maybe
girls.
more girls
More
there
girls than boys. Yes.
That's interesting.
So what do you think ladies and girls need to achieve their future, considering the state of Nigeria right now? Then you mentioned something earlier that they are not using one part of the, so 10% of the girls to judge 100% of the girls.
Yeah.
What do you think girls now need to achieve their dreams?
I think they need people to open up to. They need advices. They need to focus more on education to achieve, because they say heaven help those who help themselves.
Yeah.
So I think they need to read more, to focus on education. There are some people, like the less privileged now, it's not everybody that has the opportunity to go to school. So I feel like they need people to open up to, people to help, people to sponsor them, people to help them in education or anything, because education is the key to any passage you want to open. I'll put it like that. So I just feel like we need people to open up to, people to give us advices, people to talk to when we are down or anything. Yes.
Is there no a counselor in your school? Because in my own secondary school, we had a school counselor. Is there no a school counselor?
Should I talk
Although
about that counseling thing?
she didn't represent,
think-
she was, I don't want to say something about
I
it,
wa-
but
I
she
want
wasn't a
to-
counselor,
I-
I thought.
I'm so sorry. I want to say that I like that she's not particularly talking about her school, because it's a common knowledge that a lot of things happen in different schools. But she's talking about like the
General space.
the general space of schools, which is very intelligent, because I know that you don't want your principal watching this and then telling you that you said something bad about the school.
Yeah.
They always try to protect the image. I don't know. Funnily, I went to the same secondary school as hers.
Alma Mater.
As at my time there was no counselor, but I had a math teacher that I hated math when I got to secondary school. I don't know why. I was great at it in primary school, but secondary school just
You
threw me
realize
off.
that the YDX.
Yeah, do you get why? Why am I looking for why? You know. So this man took his time to teach me mathematics like all over again. Took his entire time to teach me. That is not a counselor. This person is just a teacher at school, which he could choose to come teach, leave the school. It's none of his business. But he took his time to teach me as a person. I think now he's like their vice principal. That's Mr. Taiwo. Shout out to Mr. Taiwo. God bless you for taking your time to teach me as a girl child and not using the opportunity to sort of sexually assault me or say stuff to me that, you know, as a girl growing up, I shouldn't be hearing. So I don't want you to mention whether or not you have a counselor in your school. I just want you to keep
But
it
let me
as
talk
that.
about counseling generally. You know, you've mentioned that people need advice. It's so sad. I did guidance and counseling for my first degree, and we've always learned this over and over again, that counseling is not represented in many secondary schools. In fact, the National Policy of Education has not even been very intentional about including counseling in schools. That's why some schools, you go there and the CRS teacher is probably going to just wear the office of a counselor. And a counselor is supposed to be trained. You're trained in confidentiality, in empathy. You're trained
being
in
judgmental.
Exactly. To
You even change not
psychoanalyze
to
this
even
student.
pick a religion over the other, because if you see the CRS teacher, she has the tendency to always use
Exactly.
Bible verses
To help.
and then now this might be a female, you know, a Muslim girl.
Yeah.
So now the Muslim girl might also not feel comfortable to go and meet the CRS teacher
And
because
some of
she
these
feel like,
people, if you tell the CRS teacher, I don't know why I'm using CRS because they're usually the ones that are counselors. You tell them your story that, probably in my house, there's this uncle that is always touching me in ways I don't like. In the staff room, in the staff room, you become.
not
Somebody
protective.
told me when I was in the hostel in 100 level, when I told her I was studying guidance and counseling. She just felt like, oh, really, counseling. She remembered her own counselor in school that was a loose mouth. I felt so ashamed of myself at that point that, what kind of ammo are you giving to us? Because confidentiality is key, where young girls can actually trust you with their secret, trust you with the things they are going through, and you in return will provide solution to them. But this particular counselor will not spread it to the staff in the office, and when you are coming to now submit an assignment, everybody is looking at you. So it is you, now your uncle, now your auntie, and it's so bad. So you're very right about advice and all of that. So, which university do you plan to go to?
Good question.
I think I'll go to Crawford, but it's my dad that chose the university.
Where do you
Crawford.
want to go to?
Crawford University.
Is it in this Nigeria?
Yes.
yes,
Ogun
Ogun State, precisely.
Oh, really?
That's amazing.
Yes.
Why
Is that where
Crawford?
you want to attend?
Yes.
To study law?
No.
But
What
you
do
wanted
want
to study
in
law.
Crawford? Because you said you want to be a lawyer, so I'm expecting that you want to study,
Study
law.
law, yeah.
Okay, I want to study law, but that is not my key, let's say.
Oh, you like to dive
My key career.
Oh.
What is your key career?
I want to be a businesswoman.
So you like to
I
study
think the
business
more
administration.
is But you're a commercial
I
student
see.
first lady.
So then you might want to go into the likes of marketing,
Accounting,
accounting,
Yes,
and all
business
of that
marketing, I
stuff.
want to do.
Do you think that sometimes women should not always limit themselves with the courses to study? Because in the society we're in today, if you are not mentioning medicine and surgery, law, or accounting or engineering, they probably think, you are not studying any serious course.
No, that's not right.
So what do you think that, you said that's not right, right?
That's
So you
not
think that females should be allowed to explore
Explore,
themselves?
yes.
That means if I tell you that I studied theater arts in school, you will not look at me in a certain
No.
Or that I'm a female doctor. Because all female doctors are called nurses, and it's so painful.
My brother is studying nursing in school. He's in 300 level. And sometimes I'm looking at, can I call you a nurse? You are a boy.
Well, that's part of the gender issues that we're also trying to address and also adapt to as grown-ups. So, Abiba, I mean, thank you so much for your insights.
Yes.
I really appreciate that you said so many things that I think if teachers and the audience in general, parents, teachers, counselors, whoever you may be concerned about the girl child, if they hear what you have said,
Yes.
there are some key takeaways that they'll be able to also, inculcate into their own daily activities to help the girl child. So thank you for that.
Thank you very much,
Thank you very
Abibat.
much.
Personally, I am rooting for you, either as a business tycoon,
Or
a
a lawyer.
successful businesswoman, or a lawyer. Whatever way it is, also remember that gender equality, gender inequality, whatever it is, you are first a human being
Yes.
before you are a girl.
And there's really nothing that you cannot achieve. I know sometimes you think motivational speakers always, overshoot this. But somebody used to tell me something. Dream big.
Yeah,
God
by
can
Ben
fund
Carson.
it. The second one is God can what? Fund it. So whatever your dreams are, just know that they are very, very achievable. You can be that lawyer that you want, a businesswoman. In fact, you can be a lawyer that is a commercial lawyer. In that sense,
You can be a
mix-
business lawyer.
Exactly.
You can be a business lawyer
You can
too.
mix
Yeah.
all of them
Business
together.
lawyer.
But
There's so many
we'll just
things.
let you know that whatever you want to achieve, because of the society that you are in, you have to work very hard. You're in a society where nobody's going to just hand things over to you. We're not trying to scare you or make you feel like, hey, really, is this the reality? It's just to make you brace up. Do you understand? Brace up, work extremely hard. I've heard people say that when a woman is in a gathering where, she doesn't have the voice or it looks like there's patriarchy there, she should be very quick to contribute. She should always have an opinion, always have something to say. Do you understand? And I like how confident you already are. You've already mentioned we're intelligent, we have good fashion sense.
One in
So
a
you strike me
million.
as somebody that you can't be intimidated in any gathering. And that's what it means. I mean, you're seated here on live show and you're talking this confidently, it shows that the sky is your starting point.
Thank you.
My
very
last
much.
word to you, my
As
dear
we start to take
Abibat.
our own pattern shot
Yes,
as well.
this is my pattern shot.
Yeah.
She mentioned working hard, also work smart. There's still so many things that still go, undercover that is not out there for. It's not out there for us to talk about because of the sensitivity of the topic. But these things happen to female children. Remember to always work smart. It's not just working hard alone. Look at how patriarchy has taken over everywhere and see how you can make sure that this thing works in your favor.
Yes.
You understand? And I also want to say that we are all here to help you
Yes,
and
please.
guide you through whatever it is that you need to become whoever it is you want to become. We're also becoming that person that we want to become in life. So join us on that moving train.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Oluchi, please, 10 seconds. Your pattern shot.
In 10 seconds, I'm going to repeat what I've said. You have got what it takes. The only person that is ever going to limit you is you.
Yourself.
So if you ever feel discouraged, just know that you are the same person that has the power to come out of that discouragement and get the job done. So I think you should have a motto of always getting the job done. Have a motto of always getting task done. Like if you set in your mind, I'm going to have this particular score this semester, this term. Do all it takes to get it. Because that way you are conditioning your mind to actually get job done. And this is the side, bad side to it. If you are such that you set targets, you set goals and resolution, and you don't eventually do it, you are making yourself feel like I'm not actually capable of doing tasks. So you can start with very small ones. You can start with your goal for the day in your school. Okay, in class today, we're going to have different exercises. I'm going to have at least 80%. And when you do that, your brain will see that, this girl is always very serious about doing her stuff and doing it well. And you see when the bigger ones come, you'll be able to, scale through all of them. That's my 2 cents.
All right. Go girl. That's
Go
what I have to
girl.
say.
Go
Don't
girl.
forget, different people are doing well. Even
Yes.
the popular Funke Akindele that we know, to be a Nollywood actress, she's first a lawyer. So it means you can be anything you want to become. My advice would be targeted at the audience. Either you are a parent, a school teacher, you are a pastor, you are just that neighbor in the neighborhood. Try as much as possible to foster unity and peace among any gender. The boy child does not have an upper hand over the girl child. The girl child does not necessarily have to be sidelined because she is a girl child. When you see a stained girl child, help her. That's all we have for you today and of course this week, but the conversation does not end well. Ensure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV and also follow us on all our social media platforms because from here, we're going to a school to educate the girl child. See you on Monday. Stay sharp.
Hello, you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Sale from Ways Prime Time. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?